Hello, Rabbi. We're interrupting our usually scheduled topics today to bring a special message to the Vice President of the United States. Take it away, Rabbi.
Mr. Vice President J.D. Vance, you marked International Holocaust Remembrance Day on January 27th with a message honoring millions of lives lost. I'm sure that not mentioning Jews or Nazism was certainly not intended to be malicious, because you pledged responsibility to continue to participate in acts of remembrance. There is no doubt in my mind that you know that the Holocaust was the policy of Nazi Germany and its collaborators to carry out the extermination of the Jewish people and those who attempted to protect them. Global anti-Semitism is at an all-time high, and it is rising. The world, and particularly the United States, need to hear that the Jews and their supporters were the victims and the Nazis carried out the extermination. Anti-Semitism within the right in America is on the rise, and they need to hear the Vice President of the United States say the words Jews and Nazis. You invoked "never again" and bracketed it with some really neat imagery. Why didn't you name the Jews and their defenders as the targeted victims and the Nazis as the perpetrators? If "never again" is to become a reality, then not just the younger generations need to know that the Nazis used the state to carry out the Holocaust. Patterns need to be recognized so that another group of innocents will not be singled out and persecuted. The Nazis murdered the Jews and their defenders. That's actually what happened. Saying that many people died will not prevent others from being murdered. And in no way is the death of the citizens of other nations being diminished by naming Jews and Nazis as victims and perpetrators. As the aging population of Holocaust survivors reduces each year, and first-hand accounts will soon not be an option, it becomes much more important to tell the whole truth. The minimum standard on January 27th, it's really uncomplicated. Name the victims, name the perpetrators. The American right uses conspiratorial content and anti-Semitic tropes to become more and more popular. Of course, they don't represent the right in America. They don't even represent half or an eighth of it or a 32nd of it. But to keep their support from growing, it needs to be clear that the Nazis used the state to carry out the annihilation of 6 million Jews and over 20 million others. Your words as Vice President of the United States will set the norm for the Republican Party. What you didn't say will have a greater effect than what you did say. Since you omitted Jews and Nazis, it makes it appear that the naming of the victims and the perpetrators is really optional. And you know that the Holocaust observances are there to remind us that history must not be distorted for political gain. At a time when Americans are divided on so many issues, here is one we can all agree on. 6 million Jews were murdered by Nazi Germany because of anti-Semitism, along with those who defended them and tried to stop them. Never again is not just about Jews. It is about stopping state-sanctioned hate and destruction of any minority.